Hi, I am Jan Reardon, and I am a very proud board member of the Jennifer Reardon Foundation. And 4 of Jennifer's pillars are what guides the foundation, and that would be women's empowerment, community vitality, early childhood education, and financial literacy. And today I have the absolute pleasure of 2 guests that tie into the wonderful world of community vitality. These 2 amazing young women attended Colchester High School. One graduated just this past June, and the other graduated the year prior. And again, it's just a pleasure to meet with them because they both received the Jennifer Reardon Scholarship. Jennifer had gone to Colchester High School, graduated back in '92, and loved that high school so much. My brother went to Essex, so that was always a big rivalry between the 2 of them. And I had the pleasure of attending graduation this June. I met you, Maeve, right after you had graduated last year, and it's a very, very impressive high school. I hate to tell my brother, hopefully he's not listening, but I was very impressed with the Lakers. I mean, what an amazing group of young adults. And so again, that just ties right into community vitality. So here we are, and I want to introduce 2 of my guests so that we can get to the way that they became who they are, actually, is what I'm so excited. Even though I've met them, I don't know a lot about how they became such amazing young women. So right here we have Maeve McCullough, graduated in 2022. Yep. And then we have Janine Barassa, who graduated in 2023. So welcome to you both. I really do appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, Jen's spirit lives on. She was all about, we say KLCS, kind, loving, caring, and sharing. She was very involved in the school, did the morning announcements to pick up everybody's spirits every morning, and that was when she was 14, and it never stopped until she was in her 40s. And the incident took her away, but we still carry on that spirit. So let's start with a couple of questions just to get a better sense for the audience as well as for myself. I'll learn probably more from you than you'll learn from me because I'm always looking for ways to be a better person. So why don't we start with you, Maeve, and then we'll go right on to you, Janine. But my first question is, if you could just put in your own words, like your definition of kindness, like what does kindness mean to you, Maeve?
Yeah, my personal definition of kindness would be just empathetic toward everybody.
Empathy is the key.
Yeah.
I just finished a book on empathy. That's what we all need, right?
Yes,
I love, just all that empathy can do to a relationship, to a community. So
absolutely.
Yes.
It would just be treating everybody, fairly.
Yes.
Not judging.
Absolutely. Key
everyone,
words.
Yeah, and just, being kind.
That's right. So. I know. It seems so simple, yet people struggle to find themselves in a way that they can be kind. So yes. I'm hoping by things such as this that people can just pick up one little takeaway and bring that into their day, because whether you're doing something or seeing somebody else do something, it just really scientifically makes you feel better. It's just our chemistry. We need that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about you, Janine? What is your definition?
I would say, like Maeve said, like having empathy for people, being helpful.
Yes.
Mostly being like a leader.
Absolutely.
I think that's definitely
key.
A big thing.
Yes.
Like taking leadership and being responsible.
How were you a leader through your high school years?
Mostly like in school, like in classes.
Right.
With like schoolwork. This past year, I was one of the captains on the tennis team.
Oh, fabulous.
So
that's
that
always
was a
good
significant
role.
Yeah.
Right. And you both played soccer together and tennis.
Yeah.
Both.
Soccer and tennis.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a captain too.
Oh, it's amazing what that does for you, even for yourself, to feel so good about what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're just huge role models on that
Exactly.
team, and especially like for the younger kids who
Oh,
are
absolutely.
coming
on board.
They don't know any tennis, and it's
Right.
it's really just showing them kind of the ropes and like making them feel welcome and like they
And
belong there.
how to be a good teammate.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
and sportsmanship, and that's,
That leads into
so
like a good community member.
exactly.
So.
It sure does.
It's such a fun environment too. Like
Right.
when everyone's just nice to each other, it's
Right,
just
no judgment.
so much better.
Exactly. The dynamic just, makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll start again with you, Maeve. We'll just go in that order. But how do you believe that we can make our community a kinder place in hopes of having it be sustainable?
Yeah, again, I would just say like no judgment toward each other. I feel like communities are always growing, and especially like in Burlington now.
Absolutely.
It's just becoming more of a melting pot.
Right, more diversified, which I love.
Exactly, it's
yes,
great.
it
but
is.
It's just we have to go into it with like that
An open mind, right, and
love,
embrace
and
the
care.
different cultures.
Exactly. It's really important to building like a stronger community and a more sustainable community. Absolutely.
Fabulous. How do you feel about that, Janine?
Yeah, along with like not being judgmental, being like inclusive.
Yes.
And kind of being open to understanding people's backgrounds.
Absolutely. Have a
you
whole
know,
different
you don't
point
know
of view. That's right.
Sometimes someone's whole life
Why
story.
they may feel a certain way about something.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
it's just so powerful, you know, to find out more about their background and then have a better understanding, good or bad, of why somebody's behavior may be what it is, and then take it from there. But, you know, ignorance is such a huge problem where people are not willing to try to understand somebody else's point of view. And what kind of a world would that be if we were just all thinking the same way? I mean, who wants that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I do want to also mention and thank you both for the field of choice that you've entered into for college. You already have 1 year behind you in nursing at UVM.
Yeah.
And then Janine, you're going into nursing at Boston College, which is, you know, both just amazing schools and such a great field. And did you know early on that you were going to go into nursing? Was that something that you had planned on for many years?
I did. So my mother is a nurse. And
Wonderful.
So I had always like grown up around the field, and I just loved the work that she did, and I loved the woman that like it made her.
Oh, beautiful.
So it really inspired me.
Oh, that's great. Janine, how did you decide?
I have some family who are nurses, so my aunt is a nurse, and then my grandma was actually a nurse
Wonderful.
at UVM
Oh,
a long time ago.
fantastic.
And so I kind of knew that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but that it had to be something that was helping other people
Oh,
and
beautiful.
interacting with people, and I thought, what better field than nursing?
Careful what you wish for, right? Yeah, your wish will come true. That's awesome. I'm so respectful of that field. And as I had mentioned to you earlier, I had an amazing career in fitness, but if I did have it to do all over again, I would definitely have gone into the nursing world because some of the best people I've ever met in my life have been nurses. So I really do admire and appreciate and respect what you're bringing to the community again. And we talked about travel nurses, so to have the two of you potentially off somewhere representing Vermont is a gift from my point of view. And I think it's fabulous that you know, the two of you already know what path you're on, and you're, you know, continuing the success that you've had all along.
Yeah, for sure.
So how about your earliest memory of how kindness shaped you to be the amazing woman that you are?
Yeah, I would attribute that back to being an oldest sibling.
So how many children
I have
did you?
two younger sisters. My youngest sister is 5 years younger than me, and so growing up, I was always their role model.
Of course.
I always looked out for them. I always was in school with them because we're just so close in age.
Right.
And so it was always like making sure they were comfortable going into school, making sure they were okay.
Your mom must have just loved having you present, right?
She did,
Yes,
she did.
Yeah. That's a gift.
Yeah, no, so I'm really thankful for them, and I love them with all my heart.
Aw.
And so I would say that like really helped kind of shape me into being like somebody who looks out for other people and really cares deeply.
So one sister must be in high school now.
Yes, one sister is going into her senior year, and then the other is going into her freshman
Oh,
year.
fabulous.
Yeah,
So they'll overlap then for that 1 year.
Yes.
And what are they interested in?
My middle sister is looking to go into education.
Fabulous.
So that's also a very caring
Exactly.
field.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know what the youngest one is. She's, you know, still figuring
Undecided,
herself out.
right,
Yeah, but
right.
We'll
And
see.
are they both soccer and tennis players?
They are, yep.
Oh,
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep.
Oh,
So
they'll follow in the best footsteps, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love
That's
it.
what we hope.
Yeah. How about you, Janine?
One of the things I remember is I read this book when I was younger. It was called Wonder,
Okay.
and they actually made a movie about it.
Okay.
I think it was by R.J. Palacio.
Okay.
And so I read that book when I was really little, and it was about a boy who he had like a facial deformity, and so he was bullied in school, and everyone made fun of him, and they didn't know, you know, his background and his story. And it was about one kid who was nice to him, and they became best friends.
Oh.
And the movie is actually really great too. I think they made that a couple of years ago, but I just remember reading that book, and like it had such a big impact on me and made me want to, like, you know, be kind to everybody.
Absolutely.
And especially because you don't know everyone's story and
well, that's
how
the thing, exactly. And once you hear
how
that,
they
you're like,
came to be.
"Oh."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that definitely was one of my earliest memories.
I did see that movie advertised. I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was a book, so I want to get that. That's a beautiful story.
I read the book. It was amazing.
And how old were you then?
I was probably, I would say, in elementary school. So
Wonderful.
it was a
Impressionable.
good read for
right, at that
my
age. Right, kind
Yeah.
of set that tone.
Yeah, especially going into, middle school.
Sure.
Those are like
oh, so much bullying.
years that, everybody
Could be so different.
going through puberty and
Exactly.
figuring
It's
out
hormones
their
are
own
flying.
things
You don't
and-
know what you're going to get from
Yeah.
I'm saying one day to the next, but 1 minute to the next.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And can you think along the lines of sustainability, like say in Colchester as a fabulous community, is there anything that you think could be put in place as a program that could help others become more kind or more anti-bullying, anything along those lines that you think that could be done?
I feel like Colchester is doing a lot of work already to kind of
In the school system?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a club that I was a part of called We Matter Here Club.
Okay.
And so it's just all about inclusivity and like mental health.
Wonderful.
And just, really just kindness.
So was that in place when you went into high school?
It was. It was new when I kind of
Started.
joined it. And so it's still developing now.
Wonderful.
But I know that like last year we painted murals kind of around the school of like different like inclusivity symbols like pride flags and
Right, nice.
like Black Lives Matter. So
Yeah.
just really
Yes.
trying to like make everyone feel welcome and like loved and know that people are
Supported.
cared for. Exactly.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So I've seen that being developed in Colchester.
And we also
Good.
have another club. It's called CHS Cares. So that's another one. We
And
have
what is the mission of CHS Cares?
It's a volunteer club.
Yeah.
So everyone gets together and does like community service.
In like outside of the school in Colchester?
A little bit of both. So we have like food drives.
Oh, nice.
And then I remember during COVID, we went to the Ethan Allen Nursing Home.
Oh,
and
very
we
nice.
built snowmen for the for
I
the
love
residents
that.
because they couldn't come outside of their
Right,
rooms. So
right.
we kind of just decorated the outside for them so they could look out the
That
window.
is beautiful. And is that still in place?
It is, and it's growing every year. It's a huge club now.
Oh, so how many students would you say are in that club roughly?
I would say 100.
Oh my
easily.
goodness, seriously.
Yeah, it's especially for our like food donation stuff. It's a huge.
Yeah, I think the past couple of years, during Thanksgiving, we got together like a bunch of donated food that the whole school would donate, and then people in those clubs would get together on like the Friday before Thanksgiving break, and we
Right.
would make all these like Thanksgiving baskets and
Oh, I love
bring
it.
them, deliver them to families who maybe needed extra food during the holidays. And
Right.
so I know that was like a great thing, and I
Absolutely.
loved doing that. It felt
And then it
really
makes your
great.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
so much better, just to
exactly.
know that other people are enjoying that holiday together in relation to like what you did.
Exactly.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else that you can think of in Colchester that is taking place that does help as far as you say inclusivity and non-judgmental, like other things that are going on or that you can think of that could be implemented?
I mean, I know this past year at Colchester High School, we had a school-wide assembly towards the end of the year, and I think that was the first time, my time in high school, that we had that assembly. It was like a diversity
And
and
this was the
inclusion.
entire school, not just
it was
seniors,
the
it was
entire
everybody?
school, and it was like a diversity and inclusion assembly, and we
Wonderful.
had speakers from all the different kinds of clubs or extracurricular activities.
Just that exposure
yeah,
alone,
and it
because
was
so many kids,
amazing
you have
to
your
see.
blind. Yes.
There were people from the unified basketball team
Oh,
who
very
spoke,
nice.
and that was awesome to hear. And I was in the choir at Colchester, and so we sang a song for
Congratulations.
everybody.
Oh, that is
and
beautiful.
it was a great assembly, and I hope that they continue to do that,
It
because
must have been so motivating and
Yeah.
inspirational.
yeah, it was the entire school too that
Exactly.
got to sit down and watch all the different
absorb
people
all
speak.
of that.
And it was all these young student leaders too from the clubs that were speaking, and instead of the adults.
What an opportunity, right? Just
Yeah.
to feel good about leadership
Mm-hmm.
and the impact that it can have. To see it firsthand like that.
Yeah.
I'm also excited to see like what's going to happen with the town. We're developing a like fitness center, I believe.
Oh,
I think we
like a
voted to approve that.
a community center.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
Well, now I can really embrace that. I used to be at Rackett's Edge, and we had a club, and it was for-profit, and then there was always the nonprofit.
Yeah.
Colchester was always the one that's like, we want this, and,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, that's going to obviously impact the Rackett's Edge.
Yeah.
But now I'm all for it. Now I'm retired,
Yeah.
and it is. I mean, all kidding aside, having a community center like that, I know what that did for
Exactly.
Essex and obviously and beyond, but because people from all walks of life, are welcome, and you have a family that would come in, and the children go this way, the parents go this way, and then you all gather at the end, and you have so many good stories to tell, because when you're working out and you get that adrenaline flowing, whether it's you're swimming or running or walking or whatever you're doing, it just makes you feel so much better about yourself. And when you feel better about yourself, as you two are very solid and secure young women, you want to be good to others. If you're not feeling so good about yourself, I mean, the
For sure.
bulliers or whatever, they're the ones that are so miserable, and they want other people to feel that way. So having fitness as a way to come together can alleviate a lot of that, negativity. So what is the timeline on that? Have you heard much lately?
haven't.
Yeah, I
No,
haven't.
I
I mean, I think we're getting
it just
close.
got approved.
Right. I
Yes.
think we're getting close to having the construction begin probably in
Yeah.
24, 25.
Yeah.
I would say like I've seen how the like Winooski pool it's
Yes.
rebuilding just 3 years
Oh.
ago. I've seen how it's really built the
Brought
community
that
up.
community together.
And like at the pool, because I lifeguard there, and so at the pool we have like suits for children who don't have bathing suits.
Love it.
We provide towels for kids that don't have towels. We have goggles for kids that don't have goggles. We have scholarships for kids that can't buy seasons passes. So it's a great place for everybody to hang out and kind of learn how to swim.
Exactly.
And all these things. And it's really built the community there. And so I'm excited to see how that can translate to Colchester with our new fitness center
Exactly.
and potentially pool. So
Absolutely. And when I was with the YMCA years ago, we managed the Winooski pool at that time. And it was remarkable to see the difference from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer. As far as the kids, there were so many families that were new Americans.
Yes.
And so in fairness to them, they didn't know. I mean, you talk about hygiene, you talk about anything. Swimming, I mean, so free swim lessons.
Yes.
So children, because there were a lot of drownings at that time.
exactly.
And so it was just wonderful to be a part of the Y in that regard and to see how that impacted the community. So you're so right as far as what that will do to further, those relationships in Colchester.
Especially because Colchester is a lake town. So
Exactly,
we have
I
so
know.
many beaches. So
Oh.
it's really important to build those
that's
swimming
the thing.
skills. and-
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Oh, that's great. I
Yeah.
know you'll be coming back one of these summers
Yeah,
and
exactly.
probably running that pool,
Exactly.
right? I love it. Yeah, that's going to be a very nice fitness center from what I've heard, so that's great. And then, let's see. How do you attribute kindness to becoming such an amazing young woman? Like, what would you say, out of all the skills that you obviously have and all of your, attributes, how does kindness stand out as a characteristic that has really changed your life for the better?
Yeah. I mean, I would say kindness was a big part of me choosing my career path.
Absolutely.
Growing up with my mother as a nurse, I saw the impact her kindness had, and both my parents were on Colchester Rescue.
Oh, wonderful.
So they really just gave so much to the town.
Absolutely. That's a
So-
big commitment.
Exactly. And so that's how I've kind of chosen my path. I want to lead a path of kindness and give back to the community that I love so much.
It's great at your age, I mean, to
Yeah.
already have figured that out, the importance of that and how good that will continue to make you feel.
Yep.
How about you, Janine? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's like what Maeve said, definitely choosing to go into nursing is definitely really important to me.
And you knew that during your high school years early
yeah,
on?
just in the past couple of years, I kind of figured out I want to interact with people and I want to help other people, and
Right.
I like science and math.
What a
and
perfect
so,
combo, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a field within nursing that you're really focused on?
Not right
open?
now,
Right.
but I definitely am interested in pediatrics and working
Wonderful.
with kids
Wonderful.
and maybe potentially working in the NICU, because I was a NICU baby.
Were you?
Yes.
Really?
I
How
was
much did you weigh when you were
I was 3 pounds 6 ounces.
Oh,
I
my
was
goodness.
2 months early.
Oh, 2 months early?
Yes, yeah. So
What
I
a
was in the
story.
NICU for my first month and my first Christmas. So
Oh.
you know, it'd definitely
What a
be
beautiful
good
story.
experience.
Yes.
Giving back to the NICU.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those photos that they have when you enter into the NICU, I mean, when you see a baby in a
Remarkable.
physician's hand, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just amazing to see, like yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, to grow up and be so healthy
Yeah.
with that care along the way. Do you have siblings as well, Ginny?
I do. I have an older brother. He's actually in Maeve's grade.
Oh,
And
good. So-
they're also friends.
Wonderful. There's Colchester for you, right? A lot of love.
Yes. Yeah.
And what is he studying? Or what is he doing
He's at
right now?
UVM, and he was doing biology, but I think he's going undecided to kind of figure out more
right.
what he wants to do.
Right,
But
which is nice to have that time in the beginning to be
Exactly.
sure.
yeah.
It's a long life ahead, hopefully, so
know.
you want to make sure you're doing exactly where you feel your place is and where
Yeah.
you're most passionate.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And there's so many different opportunities and options of things to go into.
Exactly. I know. As I had mentioned, I just had the pleasure and the blessing of being able to tour colleges in Florida with my niece and my brother and my nephew, and the opportunities that exist are just amazing. So I can imagine that it would be hard to decide
Yeah.
what to do, because right, even within a field, like what you can do
Right.
is amazing, no less the number of different fields that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's see. We've come to the end of the questions on here, but I feel like I have so many other things I want to ask you about. So let's see what else we can chat about here. But I didn't ask you, Maeve. Is there a field within nursing, like an area that you're focused on that you know
right
already?
now I'm really interested in doing emergency medicine, so I'm planning on joining UVM Rescue in the fall.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll see how
so
that
you
goes.
can join that in the fall when you're going to school?
Yes, I can join it in the summer. So next week I'm going and gonna start my application process
Oh,
with them.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And does UVM Rescue go outside of the campus?
It does, yes.
Okay.
It goes,
So it does both.
yes. Yep.
So if it's a backup for Burlington?
yes. Yep.
I see.
Yep. It's really just whoever's closest.
And
to
so
that.
you just would be, how many people are on that rescue?
I think right now it's a crew of about like 20 or maybe like 30. So it's kind of a close knit group, and we all kind of they all like rotate throughout the week. So, yeah.
How about you, Janine? Do you have any thoughts on, like, when you go to Boston College, how you'll be involved in the community? Maybe not right away once you get settled in. Do you have thoughts on taking your talents outside of the school?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have at Boston College. They're really big on service. So there's there's so many different clubs that you can get
could be a
involved
part
in.
of.
Like one of them I think is called For Boston. And so that I think is a specific club for the community of Boston and doing service in the community.
Strictly Boston College students?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yep. So that's one of them. I think that's one of their biggest things there. So they have so many different opportunities for that. And especially, once I will graduate in 4 years, there's all of those amazing hospitals.
Exactly.
In Boston
Talk about
to
being
go
the
to.
hub of the medical
Yeah.
community, right?
Definitely.
You see yourself staying in the Boston area? I mean, it's hard to tell right now. You
Yeah,
haven't really
it's
lived
hard to
there
tell,
yet, but that's like my favorite city.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they have all those great hospitals. And even coming back here to UVM, UVM's also a great hospital
Oh,
too.
absolutely. We are so lucky to have that here in the community. Do you think you'll stay in the Burlington area?
It's a really good question. I'm
Just
not
don't know
sure.
yet.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know
open,
yet.
which is good.
I
Yeah.
am open, yeah.
Right.
So we'll
And
see.
you could come to Boston.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. And as we
Yeah.
talked about with travel
Travel
nurses,
nursing,
oh,
yeah, I
fabulous opportunities that exist there. Just, you can come back here and settle down at some point, but you'll have seen basically all of the United States
Yeah.
that you wanted to see as you're working,
Yeah.
which is, it's amazing program, and we'd be lost without it.
Yeah, seriously.
But do you find more and more students, do they talk at colleges of more and more students enrolling in the nursing program again? Because it hit sort of a bottom, and now it's really thankfully come back around.
I know
where,
at UVM the nursing program is over admitted.
oh,
now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Really,
And
that's
it's
fantastic.
definitely their hardest program to get into. It's like so competitive, and I know people that have tried to like transfer into the program from
that you
other
think would
schools,
get in.
and they can't. It's
It gives me
crazy.
chills.
Yeah. And
So
it's
impressive.
great. And the UVM like nursing staff and like professors are amazing.
Well,
I've
and you have UVM right there, and you'll have hospitals that you can work right in. Will you go to to UVM in different departments this coming year, or have you?
no,
Junior year.
Yes, junior year is when I'll
Okay, and
start.
the same in Boston.
Yeah, when you start doing like your clinicals.
Right,
they'll
that's
send
junior
you-
year.
Yep.
And then you, similar to a physician, you'll just rotate through and be in different departments, so you'll get the
Yeah.
exposure, which is nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So especially if you were someone like me who's still kind of figuring out, you
Sure.
can get exposed to all the different fields. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to an end here. That flew by. I know. And then you're both leaving at the end of August to
Yep.
go back at it again, which
Yeah.
is fabulous. You must be excited about
So
that.
excited, yeah.
And then when you come back home, so you come home will you both be back in town for your break at the holidays?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Well, hopefully we'll get to, maybe we could, if possible, do this each year just to kind of stay in touch and see what
Yeah.
you're up to. And I'd rather see you here than anywhere else as far as you put your field of choice. I don't need to, be seeing you in the hospital, but I'd love to hear about what you're doing in the hospital. But thank you both. It's been just a pleasure to meet both of you over these last, couple of years. And
Yeah.
again, to keep Jen's spirit going strong, she would be your best friend, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
thank you both.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
it's been such an honor to
Yes.
receive
Oh.
Huge
a
honor.
scholarship in her name and
Oh, thank you. for
continue
feeling
her
that way.
legacy.
Yes.
Well, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a great rest of the summer.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.